Hello and welcome to the first ever pilot episode of Homewithnam. This episode will just be dedicated to learning who I am and why exactly I started this podcast. Also, it is currently 10:08 p.m. and even though it's late at night, there are still cars driving. So, if you hear a beep or something, that's what it is. And yeah. So, first question or first thing I'm going to start off with is who am I? My real name is Janaya, but online I like to go by Nam because back in like 2017 when I was a fan of BTS, I came across two people and I'm still friends with them today. And they gave me the name Nam because for one of the members of BTS, the leader Namjoon, they said I kind of resembled him or I had the personality of him. So I was given that name, and honestly, I prefer it much over my real name. So yeah, but I also felt weird not telling people my real name. Like, it's not a secret. If anyone calls me by my real name, I'll answer to it. Because if somebody in real life call me by Nam, I'm like, oh, okay. But that's the reason why I picked Nam because it's a very cute name. When it comes to Home with Nam, the reason I picked that is because I think home is supposed to be a place of sanctuary. It's supposed to be safe. And you return to home always, hopefully. And I want this to be a space and a place where people can come and relax and not worry about things, but also for me to say how I feel about things and yeah, just just have a nice space for people to come to since people have told me that I do have welcoming energy, which is nice because I somewhat feel like I am a people pleaser. And so I sometimes just want to make people feel loved and special because I did not really grow up with that feeling. So I try to overcompensate, I guess, by trying to be extra, extra super nice to people, not only for validation, but to know that I'm making someone else's life better. Um, so we already got behind the name, my name, and the name of the podcast and why I started it. And I wanted to also just talk about how I've been feeling recently. I thought me introducing the podcast would take a bit longer, but no, it has not. But currently right now, I feel very stagnant. I feel as if I should be further in life. And before I got up to record, I was in bed with a headache because yesterday I played 2 to 3 hours of badminton with my friend after not playing for pretty much a year. Okay, so I just realized that I didn't properly introduce myself. I introduced my name. So we're going to get back to the badminton thing. Besides my actual name, I'm currently a college student. I go to my community college, and once I go back, I will be attending my second year. I am a psychology major, and the career goal is to be a behavioral therapist for adolescents. But if for some reason, somehow, some way, I am directed to do something else, in which I kind of feel like I am being directed to do something else, um, I might pursue something else, like being an English teacher, maybe a social worker. I'm not sure. All I know is that I want to work with kids and help them because growing up, I didn't have the best support. So the teachers that I have currently and who I've had in the past, they were kind of like those parental figures for me. And I still talk to them. I send them an email like once every semester to give them like a big update on my life. And I kind of love them, even though that might be weird for some people, but I really have a lot of gratitude towards my teachers because when I think of giving up and quitting and failing, I think about those who've helped me and wanting to make them proud with whoever and whatever I become. and tell them, hey, like, look at me, I made it, because I know they wish the best for me, and I don't want to disappoint them. And so sometimes when I feel like I'm disconnecting from the world and going crazy, they kind of pull me back in, and it makes me feel better that, you know, oh, there's also an ambulance right now. Um, I don't know what to do. Should I pause it, or should I just, I don't know, because I want to be as authentic as possible, but I also want to be a joy to listen to. So I'm kind of like half half. So maybe I will pause it. I'll pause it and I'll be back. Bye. Okay, hello guys. I am back. But as I was saying, I have a lot of gratitude towards my teachers because they are some of the people who have helped me the most. And especially to one teacher who I feel like if he did not check on me, even when I pushed him away and when I tried to keep him away from me, he really helped. I feel like he kind of saved my life, or saved me, because he's a teacher that really cared about teaching, and he put the effort and time into having a relationship with the students. But anyways, as I was saying, yes, so working with adolescents, working with kids is something that I do want to do. And right now, like I said, I feel very stagnant. I feel as if I should be somewhere else in life, but I watch plenty of YouTube videos and I listen to podcasts, and a lot of the advice I get is that you are exactly where you're supposed to be in life. And to be honest, considering that I am 19, I feel as if I probably most likely am where I'm supposed to be. And I think I feel the way that I feel because I don't like being stagnant. I don't like feeling lost. I don't like not knowing what to do. I don't like the unknown, and becoming a young adult, an emerging adult. There's no guidelines to life, and I really wish there was. I wish there was a book I can buy, because I know even when I get advice from people, I watch podcasts, I watch YouTube videos, I try to take those things and make them my guide, but the reality of it all is that there will never be one path for me to take, and I can't live life trying to hide in following one direct path that someone else has lived. With that being said, because I feel like I'm being sad, I also wanted to add that about the podcast. At first, I was second guessing the podcast, and I was like, I'm not sure what I want out of this podcast. I love talking. I'm a yapper. For those who know me in real life and watch this, hi guys. I love you very much. Um, I do like talking, but I feel like with this podcast, I don't want it to be a place of advice for people. I want it to be more of a, I share my thoughts with people and I share my experiences, and I hope whatever you guys hear, you can take it and it helps you in some way, because I am a very contradicting person, but I think it is human nature to be contradicting, and we are ever changing and we never stay the same. So of course, you may feel one way about one thing and your mind has changed about it. And I think a little silly example is that I absolutely hate strawberries. Every year, I try fruits that I don't like, thinking that my taste buds will change. I don't like strawberries, but you know what I do like? I love strawberry flavored things. I love a strawberry banana smoothie. I've been desiring it for a long time. I had it like last week. I would like more. I'm not sure if that's a good example, but it was on my head. I love strawberry banana smoothie. Anyways, um, back to what I was saying. I would like this podcast to be somewhat of a journal for me that the public has access to. And I do want this to be like a journal. A journal for everyone to read, watch, listen, and see. And I hope that as this progress, as this podcast progresses, I start to become who I want to become, because I feel like even when I do make progress, I am too eager to become something else that I never really enjoy how far I've become. And I would say a great example of that is how there was a time period in which I couldn't do push ups. So I challenged myself to do 5 push ups a night. And eventually I was able to do 10 push ups. And even though I was able to do 10 push ups, I was like, that's my max. I can't do 11. I can't do 12. 13, 14, 15. I can't do 20. But the reality of it is that there was a point in time where I couldn't do one. And I feel like when it comes to my little successes or even the big ones, I don't celebrate myself, or I feel as if, well, you should be able to do this and you should be able to do that, you know? And so I feel like I'm all over the place. I'm messy. And though I can keep a tidy room, looking at the pile of clothes on the floor right now, even though I can keep a tidy room, my mind is just a ball of emotions and confusion and anger and resentment, and there's just a lot going on. But I hope that this journey that I am starting, it is a good one. I hope it's a good one. And I was hoping and thinking that maybe I should not say sad things for the first episode. I was thinking maybe I should be this super positive and happy person. And though that is true, naturally, I feel like not many people see the not so good version of myself. And with this podcast, I want to be as open and authentic as I can possibly be. Some things I may not say just because of my circumstances or current living situation. It's not anything bad, but it'll be a little embarrassing if I say something and then my mom's like, well, what's this about? I live with my mom. She knows I have a podcast, so like it's gonna be a bit awkward if I'm like crying to you guys and then she's like, what are you doing? And that would be awkward for me. But anyways, I hope this was an enjoyable listen for you guys. I feel like this is definitely not the end, but I also don't want to yap. And I know the first episode is supposed to be an episode where it's supposed to grab your attention, and I had some bullet points for this episode, and as it's the pilot episode, to give you more information. And I'm going to listen to this back and I'm going to be like, I messed this up. But as one of my friends said, nothing is going to be perfect. And if you guys bear with me, I promise you that things will get better. And if you listen to all of this all the way, thank you so much. And if you've already been voting on how I should do things and keeping up with my Instagram stories and, voting and stuff, thank you so much. Honestly, thank you to my friends. Thank you to my lover. Thank you for my classmates, the people who really invested in me and cared about me and encouraged me to even start, honestly, because if it wasn't for one particular person who I met in college that said, dude, just do it. Even though he was insulting me a bit because he was like, you talk a lot. You should have a podcast. That's kind of how he said it, guys. um, thank you to him, because if he didn't say something to me, I wouldn't have talked to my friend and gotten a commission for a logo made by her. And if I didn't get the logo made, I wouldn't have started an Instagram. And if I didn't start an Instagram, then I wouldn't have posted on any platform saying that I was starting a podcast. And if I never started the podcast, I would have never recorded this session. But also, before recording the session, I would have never bought a mic, and I would never bought all the other stuff that I bought for the podcast. So it starts with one person. And truth be told, I had this podcast idea a year ago. I did not know it was that long. But like I said, I have the habit and tendency of doing all the research and then never doing anything. So I did this, so yay! Anyways, you might get a little bit of yelling from me once in a while. I want to be as authentic as I can possibly be, but also I have to be quiet because it's late at night. Also, I naturally project my voice, and also, I feel like when I know I'm talking to an audience, I soften my voice, or like my voice becomes, yeah, I would say softer, like, hi guys, like, girl, who are you right now? But I think, considering I just got out of bed and it's later in the day, so my voice kind of gets a little bit deeper, or I'm more relaxed. So I feel like the way I'm talking now, it's like a neutral way of speaking. But I feel like for this episode, it was just a bunch of yapping and a bunch of talking. But I promise you, as the time goes on, it'll be more structured. I feel as if this episode is just who I am, what the podcast is about, how I've been feeling recently, which is just a lot of feeling stuck, feeling lost, not knowing if I want to continue pursuing psychology, or if I want to be an English major, or if I want to be an education major, or if I want to do communications, or if I want to study business. I am not sure. And for some reason, everything feels like the end of the world. And I was supposed to end the episode, but I did not. So I really hope you guys like this. I know I gotta listen to it back, and I know this is actually over like 15 minutes. Whoa, guys. Whoa, she's a yapper. Yappity yap yap. But, thank you. I know this episode is a bit messy, but I wanted it to be authentic, because yes, I do stutter. Yes, I do get off track sometimes in talking, and yes, sometimes I have to go back to finish what I was saying. As you guys can realize, I will edit it and make it more appealing to the ears, I suppose, since that's all you have for this episode and for a lot of them to come. But I wanted to show you guys who I actually am, because I don't want you guys to be or get familiar with a version of myself who I am not. So, thank you for listening. And also, I do want to come up with a name for you guys, but like, I don't know what to call you guys. Should I call you Tulips? Like, would that be a cute name? I don't know. Like, like, hi Tulips. Like, I don't know. I love Tulips because Coraline is my favorite movie, or was, and there's tulips in the movie, and I just love tulips now. So, but anyways, thank you for joining me for the pilot episode of Homewithnam. You are forever, 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 forever in my heart amazing, because you listened to the whole way through. I don't know how to end episodes, so I'm just going to say thank you for listening. Welcome home, and I will see you some other time.